Hello, my name's Michael, and it's great to be part of your assembly this morning. The theme of the assembly this morning is thinking about responsibility, taking responsibility. I wonder if you've been given a job to do, a task to complete. You've been given some responsibility. Maybe that's around school or at home or somewhere else you go. You've been given a job or a task for which you're responsible, and you have to act responsibly. I thought today it would be good if you would be able to join me by going to work, where I go, to be responsible. The job which I have when I am not at school or not at church, when I'm doing Monday to Friday. And maybe as we think about that, as you join me at work, we can think about what it means to be responsible. So, I'm about to start the car and I'm going to drive to work, and I'll see you in a bit. I hope you enjoyed the ride. We've now arrived at where I work. Once I get out of the car, I'll be able to give you a tour, so I hope you can come and follow me. So, this is where I work. This is Ripon College, Cuddesdon. You're looking at one of the main buildings there, and there's some more buildings in the background. And if I come around this way, this is where the chapel is, which was built in 2012. And you can see the grounds we've got here with all the lovely trees and the shapes and the fields. And if we come back this way, you can see the main building again. And if I turn round, this is the building where I work. This is College House, which used to be the Vicar of Cuddesdon's house. He's not here anymore because we use it as our offices. But this is where I work. I'm going to go inside in a moment and we can have a look round at some of the bits in the building. Right, we're in one of the old parts of the building now, walking down one of the corridors where there's lots of offices and where some of the students have their classes. And we're going to go up a set of stairs. I like these stairs because they go round and round and round. They're very twisty and turny, and it makes me feel a little bit as if I live in Hogwarts, where Harry Potter used to live. You could keep going up for another 2 floors until you get to the loft. And at the top of all those stairs, you've got our library. This is where we've got lots of books, lots of very big books, lots of very old books, books which tell us about God and tell us about things. And if we go through here, we find even more books. There seem to be books everywhere that you look. This is one of the other chapels which we have in college. This one was built over 100 years ago. It's got some lovely paintings on the wall. And one of the projects which we're looking at is uncovering the paintings which are actually still on the wall. I hope you can see that, but that's a picture which is underneath the paint. Many years ago they painted over it, and we're now trying to uncover it so that we can get the original pictures. They've really been quite attractive and beautiful, wonderful pictures that have been painted over and that we're trying to restore. Hello, I've come into our chapel now. This was one of the buildings which we saw as we were walking from the car park up to my office. I like this space in here. It's very quiet, it's very reflective. It's one of those moments where you get the opportunity to think. And we were thinking about the issue of, or the theme of responsibility. And there's a passage in the Bible which speaks about responsibility. And I'm just going to read it now. This comes from Genesis chapter 1, one of the first verses, one of the first chapters in the Bible, and talks about that time where God created the world. God spoke, "Let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature, so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of the earth." God created human beings. He created them godlike, reflecting God's nature. He created them male and female. God blessed them. Prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, take charge. Be responsible for fish in the sea and birds in the air. Be responsible for every living thing that moves on the face of the earth. Well, as you can see, I'm at home now after a day at work, a day of being responsible, having jobs to do, tasks to do, things to complete during the day, being responsible. I was thinking about that passage we heard about from Genesis, where God gives us a task, a job to do, to help look after God's world, the fish and the sea, the animals and the land, to look after God's creation. And that also includes us as people. Jesus asks us and reminds us that we should love and care for each other as God has loved and cared for us. And that is quite a responsibility, and sometimes that can feel quite big, and we might not feel that we're up to the task. But I think we are, with God's help, with God's care and with God's guidance in all of the jobs and tasks that we have. We can be reassured that we can take responsibility, that as we care and try, we will succeed in the jobs which we have. So as we come to the end of this assembly, let's just be quiet for a moment and let's say a prayer. The loving God, we thank you for the gift of your creation. Help us to be responsible in all that we do, so that we can care for it and love it. And as we think of each other, help us to love and care for each other as we show responsibility to each other and help be part of your kingdom, where your love reigns for each and every one of us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.